paranormal. It surrounds us. It's everywhere. Tonight, you will hear from the people who live and work within these highly active locations, all in the efforts to discover America's most haunted. With your host, ghost hunter and author, Dan Terry.
Good evening, boys and ghouls, and welcome back. We are on Most Haunted with Dan Terry, your ghost host with the most of the ghosts. And tonight, we are really doing something special. I'll tell you what. I am, as most of you know, a 35-year veteran policeman. I am a ghost hunter. I am a former NRA member, but big believer in the Second Amendment. But more than anything else, I'm an American. And I am proud to be an American. And this is the holiday season for Americans to join together. And it's more than just, leaving beer and pretzels out so Captain America leaves fireworks under the tree. This is real patriotism, the time for us to remember who we are and where we came from. Even Skelly in the background just really wanted to be part of this American celebration. And as I thought, how can I do a show and yet add into my view of American freedom? What says American power, American might? Because to be truly free, you have to be able to defend it. What could be a better one than an American battleship? So I went back to my friends in Wilmington, Doug and Jane Anderson, and they are the founders of Port City Paranormal. And they have done, last time I talked to them, they had done like 30 different investigations inside the USS North Carolina. It is a battleship that fought Japan. And at least I know 10 people were killed on board it during that time. One was strafed, enemy plane coming. He got shot while he was on the deck. So it was torpedoed. I think 4 or 5 people was killed when the torpedo hit, and it kept coming back for more, and it saw its way to the end of the war. And these are the kind of people, man, I'm just not sure they make people like that anymore. World War II, folks came out of the woodwork to fight and to stand for freedom. So unfortunately, or fortunately, I'm not sure, some of them haven't left the battlefield. Some of them haven't left the battleship. So let's bring in Doug and Jane, and we'll talk about the ones who are still there. Hi, guys.
How you doing?
I haven't got to talk to you in a while. How you been?
Busy. Very busy.
Busy. And I know you've been back to the battleship since we talked last, at least once. But if I understand correctly, hello? I think I lost him.
Oh,
there we are.
We're back again.
Another blackout?
Not this time. I think it's a glitch.
All right. Well, anyway, I know you've been back to the battleship, and you've been there like 30 times, and it's just an incredibly haunted place from my understanding. What have you found there?
Friends.
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to talk about Inky, I'm sure. But
oh, yeah.
All right, well, go ahead. Tell us about it. Tell us about your adventures there.
Well, we started going there in 2009. We always bring a good group of people with us. Mm-hmm. And I think the attitude of the people that you bring has a lot to do with what you find. So we've been very lucky to get a lot of evidence over the years. I think the last count of EVP was about 350.
All in one place, one ship.
That's correct.
Wow. Okay.
Some of them are crystal clear, and some of them don't make a lot of sense, but
yeah.
I guess it did to them. So Now, that ship was decommissioned, if I remember right, in 1947.
Correct.
And so its lifespan was from 1939 or 40 to, or maybe 41. I don't remember, but it was before Pearl Harbor.
Correct.
To 47. So its lifespan in active duty, while it was a very serious, tough, nasty duty, only lasted 5 years, 6 years.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
And yet this made such an imprint that many spirits have remained. Are these intelligent spirits, do you think, or are these something just left behind?
I think most of them are intelligent. I mean,
okay,
we get so much conversation going.
Well, the thing is that we've also found that not everybody that is on that ship, that is not alive, that is, not all of them served on the ship.
You did send an EVP with what sounded like a little girl's voice. So I was wondering, so do you think there's a portal there they're using to come in and out?
Well, our theory is that when you have a haunted place, other spirits see their light and they kind of join in. They want company.
It sits in brackish water, and it's always kind of deteriorating, and that makes a battery. So there's a lot of energy there. And I believe myself that after you die, you can go any place you want to go. And for the boys of the battleship, that was the most exciting time of their lives, that they were fighting for America, fighting for freedom, and mom and dad and apple pie and all. I don't want to sound, whatever, but
no, go ahead. You're with
exciting.
Me.
Yeah,
I've got a skeleton with a Betsy Ross flag on. Come on.
You're into it.
Now the thing is also is, what if some of these other voices are people looking for departed loved ones, spirits seeking spirits?
Exactly.
I had never thought of that before. That makes sense.
A little girl looking for her dad. Yeah, kind of sad, but it's possible.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. That makes total sense. I'd never thought of it before that way.
We had one woman that was waiting in a house right here in Wilmington. We did it. She was waiting for her son to come home from the war. And after we explained to her, that probably he was in heaven or wherever, that she could go visit him, she left the place. But why not come to the battleship and look for your son? That makes perfect sense.
It does.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, that's a theory I'd never heard before, and that would also kind of explain any hauntings in a cemetery, because it seems to me a cemetery would be a very quiet place. Nobody actually dies there. But if someone is there looking for family, maybe that's why people see haunts in a cemetery.
Well, I think that's probably true.
People that came to mourn over and over again, to pray at their husband's grave or something. How about the grave digger in New York? I mean, he worked in the cemetery, and he would talk to us.
So you've done that kind of a thing. Okay. I have never really done a cemetery. I've been in them that are haunted, but I'm afraid. A friend of mine, though, had a theory. Maybe you've read about it. He wanted to go there in the night, blow a trumpet, and then he'd take photographs to see if somebody would think it was Gabriel, and start going. And he actually got some orb activity. I don't know if it was anything or not, but I was afraid of doing that. I was afraid I'd be sentenced to the hell of the everlasting kidney stone or something.
Oh Lord! Yeah, the problem with cemeteries though is you got to get permission to go in there after dark.
Yeah.
Well, I was from Missouri, so we didn't have that law. They decided a long time ago, different religions do things different, so cemeteries are always open.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, I liked it, and we had a lot of ghost tours in it too. But getting back to the battleship, so 10 people died, 40 or 60 people, something like that, had been wounded or injured?
Yeah.
Lots of wounded, but that's pretty good for a battleship to only have that many people leave.
Considering they've been torpedoed, strafed, and had 5 battle stars, that captain must have known what he was doing.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so did the crew.
And they got hit by friendly fire.
Yeah, one guy killed and 4 injured by one of our own ships.
A 5-inch shell hit one of the aiming towers.
It's a shame, but it does happen in war, and we can accept that. And that does not make their sacrifice any less important. Just I hate the idea of knowing you were killed by your own people.
Yeah.
I don't think they looked at it that way, because you died while you're in the service for,
That's
freedom.
it. Yeah. Things happen. With that much fire and those, I believe it was during a strafing or during a air attack.
Mm-hmm.
So they were swinging guns everywhere and fighting, and that happens.
Yep.
So what was your first or most interesting, however you want to do it, evidence aboard the North Carolina?
Well, probably the most interesting, we did the last time we were on the show with the cell door in the brig.
Oh yeah.
Swinging.
That was weird.
That was very weird.
Talk about portals.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Legend says that has there been spirits sighted walking the halls, walking the decks, things like that? I thought I read that somewhere.
Yeah, I've seen people standing in front of the NCO office that looked like they had to report there for some reason. I've seen people standing on the deck. A lot of people have talked about docents in the tan uniforms that have, pointed them which way to go and said a few words to them, and they don't do the tours.
Docents, you mean not sailors, but people who's worked there since it was a museum?
Yes.
They're like volunteers who take people around about the history.
Mm-hmm.
And that's extremely interesting.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
But
that's been a museum since 1962, I believe.
That's correct.
Oh, incredible. So it's got a history with a lot of people who's come and go, worked there, left.
Yes.
Yeah, amazing.
Well, the docents, I'm sorry, but they always dress in kind of a period costume. But if you see a woman dressed as a sailor, that's not.
No, that's me. Not from that time.
Yeah.
We've actually seen a guy that died on the ship during the torpedo. His name's Inky Nelson. I finally figured out who I saw because Jane brought pictures home and gave me a lineup of pictures to look at, and I picked him out.
You was able to pick out a ghost from pictures of the crew from 1944.
That's
43.
Correct. 43.
Wow. Yeah, 43. I think it's a torpedo hit.
Yeah, I think Inky is probably one of the most powerful spirits, but he's such a good guy. Everybody says, "Oh, they're demons aboard." That's baloney.
No,
I mean, they are just wonderful guys, and they like to have fun. Because there were some off hours, when they were traveling. I'm sure they did a lot of jokes, but the only one they can prank now is Doug. They do a lot of that.
Which they do it regularly.
So the spirits on board the North Carolina, they know they are dead, and yet they're still being guys on a ship.
Yeah.
That's correct. I mean, that's just who they are.
Oh, that's incredible. And as I told you last time, I was stationed aboard a ship called the Northwind right across the river from that, and yet never went there until I came back, let's see, almost 20 years later.
Yeah.
That's my foolishness. What else? You got the Inky you've seen other spirits. You've got a lot of EVPs we'll be going through. What else you got?
There's very few video, and it's sad, and photographs are few and far between, and that's just in general through our investigation. But on the battleship, video, we got 2 pieces of video, and you'll see one of them on this show.
Mm-hmm.
And the last time we were here, you saw the other one.
Yes, the cell door.
The cell door. That is infamous.
Yeah. That's probably the best piece of evidence we've ever gotten.
Visual.
Wow.
Yeah. Visually. I don't know what that was.
Well, anyone who comes to Wilmington has got to make a stop at that ship, because aside from the history, it's just an incredible save. How they saved it, I don't know, because I know how expensive it is to keep a ship in some kind of condition.
Saving it. You're talking about the camaraderie of the sailors is when it was torpedoed. The boat was close to sinking, but the guys just lickety split. It was within a few minutes. They had the ship tilted away from the hole in the bow, and then they revved up the engines, and so that thing was flying kind of in an angle. Just boom, boom, boom. They had it done because everything was everybody's job.
Right.
Yeah.
Then you find, it's not my job.
Like I said, they must have had one hell of a captain, because 5 battle stars, combat through all those different battles, and there was a bunch of them, including Iwo Jima and Guadalcanal.
That's
and
correct.
Yet, only 10 people killed in the line of duty. Yeah, that's a shock.
Kind of no wonder maybe the people that stay there are proud to.
Yeah,
I know Inky is proud to.
Yeah, and we keep talking about Inky, but Leonard Pone is still there.
He's been talking more than he used to.
Now, how did you come up with his name?
Well, I worked in the archives, and I did a lot of history, looking up who worked where, and you start with like who died. And then you find out what job they did, and then you go deeper in it. But Leonard was in the showers when the torpedo hit, and he closed a watertight door that actually trapped himself. But he did that for the good of the ship and everyone. He
sacrificed himself for the ship to keep the ship afloat.
Absolutely.
What a man.
Yeah.
There's no history of that.
None.
We learned that from him directly.
Okay.
I mean, we kind of know he was there from the history.
Yeah. We asked him who closed the watertight door. He said, I did, and I just wanted you to know.
Wow. So you got all that on an EVP? Or was that using something else? Okay.
No, that's on an EVP.
What kind of equipment do you all use aside from voice recorders?
Not a heck of a lot of fancy stuff. We have cameras, infrared cameras that we use.
Head cams, stationary cams.
We do use EMF meters, but they're not to detect ghosts. We don't detect ghosts with the EMF meters. We just see where the energy spots are.
Okay.
And where the energy is a good possibility where you'll have spirit activity.
Right. That's practically the galley for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
but we stay away from like Ovilus and Ghost Box because it's iffy. You have to take away all that extraneous noise to really hear the EVP. So we like to ask a question and then shut up.
Well, that goes back to the way I said you all do it differently, because you're not. When I do it, I'm there for drama. I like the lights. I like all that because I especially like when the rods go and the lights go off at the same time. That's excellent evidence. But you're doing it for scientific value. I do it for drama. So you've got the more scientific way, and your evidence would undoubtedly be more usable.
Well, the thing is that we will use K2 meters because if you get EVP evidence and K2 meters going off, it kind of backs up each other.
Right.
And K2 meters are easily visualized in the dark.
Plus, we use psychics, and the psychics don't tell us what they're saying or what they're hearing or experiencing. They write a report. I've told you this before. They write a report, and we compare it to the EVP and the environmental measurements, and it just they all coalesce. That's when you really got something going on.
We do occasionally use vibration sensors if we're hearing footsteps on stairs.
Right.
We have, and I've I've been using these long before anybody else even thought of it, is a lightning strike meter.
Okay, go on.
It's just another form of an EMF detector. It's picking up static charge in the atmosphere.
Okay.
And it has an audible alarm on it. So when it happens, you can, one, find out if there is thunder in the area, and that might affect you, with the rumbling in the background or static charge in the atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's a clear, cold night and that thing's going off, it's just like an EMF meter.
Okay.
And if you get EVP along with it, great. We've actually had one girl keep getting poked and had her hair pulled, and every time something happened, the lightning strike meter went off.
Aren't those the same thing golfers use?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So that's what she gets for being a girl on a man's ship, I guess.
With blonde hair.
The boys on the battleship love the girls.
Well, they're sailors. Come on.
Yeah, especially blondes.
Mm.
Yeah, they don't pull my hair much. Just pinch my butt. I told you about that one. That was kind of weird.
Was that Inky?
I don't think so, unless I hope that he was more of a gentleman than that, because he's always been gentleman. He watches out for me and stuff. But whoever did this was a sneaky person.
And how did you first meet up with Inky? Because he sounds like a really cool character for a ghost.
He is.
Well, it's just a couple of times we recorded a voice. Mm-hmm. And then I am sitting there listening, and I said, gosh, all these voices are the same. And after a while, he finally gave his name.
Okay.
And so now I had a name to go with the voice. So now I recognize his voice every time I hear it.
It was on third deck that we actually met him.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the strangest thing, because we're walking down there. It was just Doug and I. Everybody had to leave, which I think is nuts. But they left us alone on the ship. This is great. And Doug and I are walking down third deck, and I see a tiny pinpoint of light. Mm-hmm. And it comes up to me, and I don't know if I should do this or not, but all of a sudden it was like, whoop, in my face. And I saw it, yeah.
Okay.
And it was a face, and it was, his hair was floating around his head. It was like blonde hair with red ends on it, like he had dyed the ends, which is not military. And he had the brightest blue eyes I've ever seen, piercing. And then he grinned at me. And then he just kind of backed up. He didn't leave the same way. He came this way, but left that way. And just, I had already knocked Doug down when I backed up when it came towards me. But that was our first meeting.
So he was waiting for everyone else to leave before he introduced himself?
I guess so.
I think so. He
doesn't like crowds.
He loves to prank us. That's the thing. This is
because we love to get pranked. I wish I could think of something to do back to him.
Yeah, we got to figure something out.
Yeah.
Well, I'd suggest sage, but no, we won't do that.
No. We might trip every smoke alarm on the ship.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, when I was working on my thing here, my studio, I tried fog machine. Yeah, that does set off fire alarms. That was upsetting. All right, you did send me some awesome EVPs. The first one, can you tell us about it? It has who?
Okay, so Jane, what I've done is clip these down to a very short segment for time. But what happened is that we were talking about, Jane and I used to haunt the battleship at Halloween.
Okay.
They used to have a big production, and we were part of it. So
she sent him a picture.
She said,
"We will."
We were in the mess.
Send one.
We were in the mess discussing the loud noise we had recorded in the mess, and then she was talking about Halloween. She said, I always wanted to hide in one of the soup tureens and jump out like Oscar the Grouch. And whoever that answered said, who? They wouldn't know who Oscar the Grouch was.
No, they wouldn't. So, okay, Race, could you play that one for us?
It was one of those tray covers.
Oh, that too. In Halloween, I always wanted to get in one of these and pop up like Oscar the Grouch.
Jane would haunt from that side.
And that was not one of your people there.
No.
Because it does sound pretty lifelike to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is an incredible one. Race, could you play it one more time for us?
It was one of those tray covers.
Oh, that too. In Halloween, I always wanted to get in one of these and pop up like Oscar the Grouch.
Jane would haunt from that side.
Yeah, I've been in a few places where, and I think it's because it was places I went back to a lot, where the ghosts would play games like that. They would have fun with me. And the fact that you've got that going there is amazing. I love it when the spirits are having fun with us.
Yep.
All right. The next one says, no.
I think that was, she was talking about Odell's Wrench, and that's a long story, so I won't get into it. But Odell's Wrench, it was part of the, where when the ship lists, closing a valve and getting the ship back upright again.
Okay.
So she said, is Odell's Wrench on the other side of the ship? And this was the answer.
Okay. Go ahead, Race.
Odell's Wrench is on the other side.
No.
He almost sounded like it was a stupid question, didn't he?
It was. It really was.
Because she should have known better.
Why? She's not a sailor. That ship there ain't one of those left in the Navy.
Oh, we love that place though. But I mean, how many times have I been down there?
Sure.
But
yeah.
They've moved it so more people can see it now.
I can walk through that ship in the pitch dark and not get lost.
I envy that. I would love to do that. Race, play that one again for us.
Odell's Wrench is on the other side.
God, it's great. You got that kind of a camaraderie with the spirits. So I guess you guys are like true believers, right?
Oh, heck yeah. How could we not be?
No kidding. With what you've got here. All right, this one okay. I swear this is a little girl voice. So before you say anything, go ahead and play this one, Race, and then we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Oh, I was going to just pick it up for you so you could...
Then I have to bend over. Which is worse? Anybody in there?
I forgot about that.
Well,
We don't take children with us.
Yeah,
at all.
Right.
And nobody that we have in our group has a little girl voice like that.
It could have been a little boy for all I know, but
Yeah, it could have been. So this is going back to what we discussed earlier, that maybe it's a family member who has passed and is back looking for, as you said, daddy, probably.
Yeah.
But that's an incredible catch right there.
Hey, accidents happen.
that's how we get our best.
I was in a jail once and we didn't get it on recording. We all heard it, but it didn't come over the recorders of a little girl giggling in the hallway. And it was so lifelike, I shut that whole place down and searched it thinking somebody had gotten in. But it was, that is amazing. All right, Race, one more time, please.
Yeah.
Oh, I was going to just pick it up for you so you could...
Then I have to bend over. Which is worse? Anybody in there?
That's crazy.
Is an absolute Class A EVP. That is an amazing catch.
Yep, that was not even amplified.
And there is no question that is a voice coming over. I mean, we know exactly what she's saying. It's plain as day.
My voice isn't that clear.
No.
That was weird.
She was closer to the microphone, I guess. Race gets on to me about getting closer to the microphone, so I can understand that. All right, we've got one that says nothing wrong here. What are we looking at?
Well, I had heard I think it was my lightning strike meter going off. It was beeping. And I said something like, uh-oh. And then you get the voice saying, nothing's wrong.
Kind of reassuring you then, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Race. Let's play that one.
Oh.
Hello.
What?
Just says nothing wrong.
Yeah. It's right at the end, and it's very plain. One more time, please.
Oh.
Hello.
It's kind of mechanical sounding.
Yeah, we've heard that kind before on EVPs. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, right at the beginning of that, if you could play it one more time, I thought I caught something.
Okay, Race, please.
Oh.
Hello.
Did you hear the same voice say hello right at the beginning?
Yeah, I heard a voice. I heard it say hello, but I wasn't able to distinguish it from the other one. So
It was kind of a mechanical sounding voice again.
okay. Well, now you found another one. Don't you
Yeah.
love it when that happens?
Oh, yeah.
I found several like that going through. It's like, whoa, where'd that come from?
Yeah.
Okay, and the next one I want to try. Hotter?
Oh, yeah. Basically, we were talking that it was just brutal on the ship. And then Tony says something like they're turning the blowers on. And you get a voice that sounds female to me. But
Okay, let's try it.
They're coming up. Yep.
hotter.
I can hear that. I'm not very good at EVP.
She's kind of
Deaf.
half deaf.
Does that come right at the end?
No, it's right after he says about the air blowing.
Okay. I missed it. Let's try it again, Race, please.
They're coming up. Yep.
Yeah, I caught it that time.
Yeah,
It kind of covers him a little bit at the beginning.
yeah, and it's kind of a hoarse whisper.
Okay. So, and how often do you get these? You said the last time you went, you got a bunch?
Oh yeah, it's crazy. Even on a ship during the day with a bunch of tourists on the ship, we were getting EVP. Jane, some of them weren't as clear. But Inky actually said, "I'm glad that you're here."
Wow, that's cool. Did you play that last time?
No, this is
Okay.
one we
Oh,
just
the
got.
one you just finished. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
No.
it's it's so cool. Like I said, even with a ship full of tourists, they want to make you happy.
Yeah.
They want to give you what you're there for, I guess.
I just hated it so long in between visits.
Well,
Yeah, we don't call them investigations. We call them visits. It's like visiting friends. You know, we miss them.
Mm-hmm. Has
Yeah.
any of them ever came home with you then?
negative.
No.
Nope. They don't
Okay.
want to leave the ship.
Yeah.
And the other spirits, which I'll call transients, haven't come with us yet. So let's just keep it
They
that
know
way.
better. Well, what's the
keep-
word?
we do have self-protection that we do. And if you believe in crystals, I keep a big chunk of black tourmaline in my truck to keep them out of there.
Do it.
Well, after 70 some years, you'd think they'd have some shore leave built up.
Yeah, who knows?
Well, Danny said one of them got in the car with his girlfriend, or
Oh, wow.
oh, that would just scare me to death. Because back then,
Or maybe that was her excuse.
what, for leaving? Oh, don't tell Danny.
That guy in the car was a ghost, sir.
Yeah.
That's awesome. What do we got? We got Forget It.
Yeah, this is kind of a sad, sweet EVP because the guy was trying to send a recorder down the wishing well to the bottom so he could record. It was on a string, and he asked someone to cut the string. And I guess the string dropped, and before he even realized it, Inky, who was right there, said, "Forget about it," because the string went into the wishing well.
Okay. Well, now I know the story. What I had heard was almost a thanks and then forget it. You know, like they were just saying, forget it. Okay. Race, would you play that one for me?
Then y'all do me a favor, cut this line right here. Thank you.
It's so soft.
I still hear thank you and forget it.
Yeah, thank you was actually an investigator because he thanked her for loan of the scissors. Unfortunately, this fella has passed. Maybe he's on the ship with him too.
Was just going to mention that. Yeah. But like what I'm hearing, and you were there, you know more about it than I do, is someone saying thank you and another guy saying, forget it. Like, you know,
that was Inky.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah. No, Inky, I think, was trying to say, forget it. It's already in the well.
And the wishing well, what is that precisely?
The wishing well is where they used to load the big 16-inch shells from the deck down to the turret. And apparently they believe that one of the men, Tommy Thompson, he was on his way to breakfast, and he was taking a shortcut and going down the loading area, and the tongs broke loose, the ones that hold the 2,200-pound shells, and hit him in the head, knocked him 3 decks down.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, people throw money down there.
So now
donate.
it's a wishing well, and people throw money down there, and there's lots of money down there.
And recorders, obviously.
Yeah.
Yes.
He did get the recorder back.
Okay. All right, let's try Come Back.
If you feel anything, walk ahead this way.
Okay, I could not make out what was being said. I can make out the comeback, but what was being said before that?
Jane was talking to one of the other investigators and saying about, do you feel anything as you walk down the corridor?
Mm-hmm.
And apparently one of the boys didn't want her to go.
We try to get the new people that come with us to use more than their eyes and their ears.
Sure.
How do you feel? You know, sometimes it's emotional, sometimes it's heat and cold, but I try to get these guys to use everything.
But the EVP says come back twice, and the second one is fading away as she walked down the hall.
Yeah.
Like an echo?
No, I think he just said, come back. But she was already moving away, so the second comeback was
farther. Okay, and why do you think he did not want you going down that hallway?
I think he wanted company.
Okay.
He didn't want them to leave.
Just wanted attention.
Yep.
All right.
Maybe he didn't have enough strength to, maybe he wanted to pull her hair. I don't know.
You think he's the hair puller then?
He might be.
All right, play that one more time, please. It's come back after that.
If you feel anything, walk ahead. That's good.
Yeah, I caught it that time. I never caught it before. The second one.
Yep.
All right, let's try. All right, we're going to just say bull on this one.
Okay.
I'll let the spirit do the cursing. I'm not going to because he can't be sued or anything. All right. So what's the story on this one?
I'm trying to think of which one this one was. Go ahead and play it.
Yeah, let's just play it.
Where was the cameras? Right in here. Because it was a straight shot down there.
Yeah, Troy, one of our investigators, Troy, was he had gone with another group and they had stuck a camera somewhere and he was explaining where he had put it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think who the spirit probably said was probably saying, no, that's not where you put it. So he said, yeah, BS.
Okay. One more time, please, Race. That's funny.
Where was the cameras? Right in here. Because it was a straight shot down there.
I can't stand it when it gets all mechanical like that.
Yeah, well, that's just the way it was.
What we do, yep. All right, this one here says 4. So this is the shower room where the torpedo hit close?
That is correct.
Okay, yeah, I think you told me about it last time. And this is how you found out how many people were in there. Did you verify that?
Yes, it was verified.
Wow. Okay. All right, let's play that one, Race, and then we'll talk about it.
How many people were in the shower area when the torpedo hit?
That is a definite. And that's how many people actually were there.
Yep, there were 2 men killed in the voids. One was killed by direct fire. Well, he was thrown off the ship right over top of him, and one drowned. So, yes, the answer was 4.
And the one who drowned was the one that was shutting the watertight hatch.
That was Leonard Pung.
You know, it just is incredible that you could identify names and persons with acts that occurred 75 years ago.
Yeah.
This is one of the best bits of evidence I've ever heard because you found out that they told you the truth. I mean, they were accurate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Number 10. Question. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just telling Doug that we've been in the shower sitting down and we've asked how many people are down here with us now. And they asked the live ones, or was it the dead ones? Remember that one?
Yeah, that was. Yeah. That wasn't in the showers, but that's okay.
I don't remember everything. But yeah, they'll say what? The live ones or the dead ones?
Oh, I don't know what to say with you guys have been there so much that the ghosts actually have conversations. I mean, I'm lucky if I get a yep or a
we're gonna
something
start
like
listening in real time.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think if at least one of us does, that'll be a good deal.
And the amount of evidence you all are showing is just incredible for the battleship. I mean, how many
hard work?
Well, and it's 31 visits now or something, right?
Yeah, considering it's 8 to 12 hours of all these recorders, video cameras. Hey, it's a lot of stuff.
Yeah. If we have 6 or 8 people, that's 6 or 8 recorders. And Doug double checks everybody's recorder because he and Tony have the best hearing of all to catch these.
I almost stopped using recorders just because I got tired of sitting and listening to people who I cannot get them to shut up, talking. And I don't care what your neighbor's wife is doing. I'm listening for ghosts.
Yeah, duct tape. That's part of our kit.
Yeah, it was, sometimes we've been sitting having a conversation among the investigators and have the spirits chime in with their own opinion.
What about that one at the bar?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we were sitting downtown at a bar, and Doug and one of the other fellows was talking about the drinks.
Whiskey.
Yeah.
And I said, Jim Beam is pretty good whiskey. And you hear this Irish accent that says, good enough.
You actually played that one last time. We had that one last time.
But
yeah.
The thing is that they do stick their 2 cents in, even when we're not even really investigating. We're just talking.
Years ago, I found that if I was sitting there and getting absolutely nothing, then we'd start a conversation and they would get jealous because we're not paying attention to them. And that's when the little flashes of light or something would be going on around us. But the problems I have mostly is people who just want to talk. They're not doing it to get the spirits worked up. They're doing it because they have to talk. Okay. Tell me about I'll Be Your Friend.
Okay. Well, this we recorded when we were just visiting the ship with our friend from the UK. And so it really doesn't need any build up.
Would we introduce Dylan or probably?
Okay, Race, would you play this one?
It's hard to hear, but
it is hard to hear.
So what made him say that? Any idea?
Maybe he was. Maybe he might have been speaking to Dylan.
So okay,
British. He says, "I'll be your friend."
Okay, I'll come home with you then.
Oh, that's a long ride.
That's a long flight. He'll probably get there before the plane will.
Yeah.
No kidding. Let's try. Can we film it? What's the story behind this one?
We were talking about filming on the ship, and darned if somebody didn't say, "Can we film you too?"
Okay. All right, Race, would you play this one for us? And
I had just said something about shooting down a particular corridor. And actually it was in the shower area. So then this voice pops up and says, "Can we film you too?" And I think they were being quite sarcastic.
And what was the one about right after that? Someone said that would be so nice.
That was Tony.
Okay.
So he was alive.
Yeah. All right. So Race, play that one more time, please.
Well, that wasn't Tony. That was me.
Okay. And what was you referring to? Just shooting down that hallway?
No, somebody would just shut up.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right.
And that was my sarcasm.
Nothing wrong with that. So you sent me a video, and there is something at the far end of it. Looks like through maybe 1 or 2 hatches.
Yeah.
What do you see?
It's through 2 hatches, and the thing is that we were all taking a break up in the wardroom, and this is down shooting from officers' country back towards sickbay. And that the fact that it's bright down there is because we're using IR lights, and the cabinet is metal and reflecting the light back. So something broke in front of that.
Interrupted the light.
Okay. It was moving.
All right. Race, would you play the video, please? Looks like it dodged in and out a couple of times.
Yeah, it moved past the area a couple of times, but I mean, it's not really all that dramatic. But I know there was nobody down there.
If there was nobody down there, then that's something. And it's right, for the folks that maybe didn't notice, it's right at the beginning of the film. You can see the head and shoulders pop out and then move back and forth. Race, would you play one more time?
It's way down there.
Yep.
It's strange.
So what is your opinion of this? And as we've talked about, the spirits know where they're at, what they're doing. They are well aware of their condition, and yet they don't want to leave the ship.
That's right. I mean, Jane was talking to the boys in the shower and said, your service to the ship is over. You can leave. And
did a good job.
The answer came back, I don't want to.
I had no idea what that thing down the end of the corridor was.
Well, could have been any of the spirits there, but as you have said, there's nothing evil there. It's strictly human spirits. It's strictly the sailors who served on her or some others that's come and gone.
Well, it also might be the way that we approach them.
Okay.
They're our friends. And like when you meet somebody on the street, you don't go tell them to go, here, jump through this hoop or show me a funny face, And so if you're going down there and you're probably being nasty, they might be nasty back to you. But as for demons, no. These are good guys. They guard the ship.
One of the places I went to was an old brewery. It's actually the first Bush brewery in a small town outside of St. Louis. And I would call the spirits by their first names. And like you, just talk to them like they're people standing there. And that they wanted to play. They wanted to get attention. They wanted to have fun. The first time I told them this was a money-making event to save the building. And those people who was on that one just couldn't believe the things going on in there. Because they wanted to play. And they wanted to help. So I see what you're saying. The sailors are still there, still proud of their ship, proud of what they've done, and they're having a good time.
Well, one of our very early investigations, we had brought a fellow from another group, and we were down in the showers, and he started asking this long, convoluted question that went on and on and on. And he says, and if you're here, can you make a noise? Pause, 4 beats. Bam! He jumped and he says, oh, okay.
Mr. Tough Guy.
Yeah, so I'm sitting in the corner just laughing.
All right, well, what would you say? You all don't do public ghost hunts where people can pay to come in, but others do. They're on that ship. I think it's several times a year. I know. What kind of advice would you give to someone who goes there with one of these tours? Where should they focus?
Well, unfortunately, a lot of the places where we got our best evidence are no longer available to investigate. Places like the engine room, engine room number 3 has always been active.
And that's on the tour route.
That's on the tour route. Sick bay
tour route
is tour route, and the mess area.
Do you know why they stopped letting you ghost hunt there?
Because too many people were trashing the place and leaving trash behind in places where it's difficult to get to.
Some places are very dangerous.
Yeah, there's some hatches that are left open because they have to vent diesel fumes out of them.
They're always working down there,
and they're always working. So they're just worried that somebody would hurt themselves.
Okay, so where would you suggest that people try? At least some places you've gotten something.
Well, yeah, like I said, sick bay, mess area.
Second
Okay.
deck,
Um,
if you can get down to third deck.
yeah.
Okay.
Top decks.
Engine room. The thing is that in the engine room, if you're going to be on that ship, you have to be absolutely still, because you touch anything and the metal groans.
Mhm.
You step on the grating, it makes a racket.
Okay.
So you got to be real still, real quiet, and listen real well, because you'll hear sounds.
Yeah, I would suggest that they have a short quiet time.
Okay.
And one person asks one question and wait in between. Because if you got 6 people, I can't do that.
Well, I mean, one night we were in the engine room and we hear somebody scuffling around down in an area where you can't get to. And I'm just going, quiet, let's listen. And somebody says, it sounds like tools. And I said, it sounds like a screwdriver for some reason.
Uh-huh.
And you hear a voice that says, it's a screwdriver.
All right. Well, Doug and Jane Anderson with Port City Paranormal, how can people find more of this evidence? Do you have it online anywhere?
We do have evidence from several different investigations. Most of them are public. I think only one is private. And they allowed us and wanted us to put it out.
Okay.
So it's
PortCityParanormal.com.
Good enough.
Yeah,
well,
easy.
Guys, every time you come here, the evidence is incredible. Thanks for coming back on this holiday for me.
Anytime.
All right.
It's fun.
We'll talk to you again soon. Thanks again. And
Thanks,
y'all have
Dan.
a great 4th of July.
We will.
All right. Take care now.
Bye, Race.
All right, folks, in the minute or so I got left here, I just want to remind you all, the unxnetwork.com, the X, has got anything you want. So if you've got family members who are really into supernatural, paranormal, whatever word you want to use, ghosts, UFOs, cryptids, conspiracy, anything out of the ordinary that you want, it's right there on the X. It's on YouTube under the UNX Network, and I want you to check it out. Tell your friends. Tell that family member that every time you get together wants to talk politics. No, let's find something new to talk about, something that doesn't cause a fight. But check us out and let your friends know we're there. And until next week, you all have a great 4th of July. Good night.